What's up, guys? Blaine Duncan here from Halloween Lives, the podcast of Michael Myers, joined, as always, by my brother, Austin. Welcome to episode...
What's up?
You just interrupted the show with a sneeze. You interrupted the show with a sneeze.
I felt it coming as soon as you started.
Welcome to episode number 50. Guys, this is our last episode of 2023, and we might as well make it a good one. Let's start off with Austin's allergies that he has literally 365 days a year. It's the only thing that has lasted longer than this podcast, and that's Austin's allergies. What's up, dude? Welcome to episode 50. Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I just I'm just so excited about this thing. My whole body's reacting. Yeah. We just had our Christmas, which, by the way, Blaine and I have a great tradition of just getting each other mainly Michael Myers themed things. Got a good book regarding the background of the making of the films that isn't taking shape. So I think we'll end up using some of that for the podcast. Got a Tots Rob Zombie Halloween 1 mask, which I know I'm in line to do some other masks, but that is absolutely getting rehauled because it is just such a beautiful sculpt. I mean, it is beautiful. And got myself a little Corey mask amongst a bunch of other Halloween related.
And I've got a couple things that I've got thrown in my new background here. If you guys can see it right here, I got the Halloween 3 book, which you bought that off of eBay, right? Because it's obviously not being reprinted.
No, it was part of somebody's personal library. It had a big ass sticker on it. I had to take that off. But yeah, I got you the original prints. I think that one's printed in like 82.
Yeah, I will be reading that, and then over here, you can see I've got the Halloween 3 soundtrack on vinyl. I love listening to records, love music, just in general. So I'm going to be listening to that at some point. I haven't even taken it out of the package yet, but I am really, really, really excited to take that out of the package and listen to it. And then probably like the coolest thing that I got this Christmas was pieces of the Silver Shamrock building, the Silver Shamrock Studios, whatever the hell it is in Halloween 3. You bought me, which is something I've wanted forever. Like I've always said, I want to get up to, I think it's Santa Clarita, I believe, could be wrong about that, and get myself like a brick. And Austin took care of me. He got me some pieces of the building. Came with a certificate of authenticity, the whole 9 yards. So I'm going to be putting together like some kind of a shadow box or whatever with that. Just super, super cool stuff. And yeah, so Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. This is the last episode of 2023, episode number 50. And my God, I cannot thank you guys enough for being here with us. We can't thank you enough for being here with us this entire way. We're obviously only a few weeks away from our 1-year anniversary show. And dude, that's insane. Like we've done an entire year. We haven't missed a single week. We've done an entire year of this podcast, and we're just going to keep rocking with this thing. So cool. It's obviously grown. We're over 1,000 subs now, which is exactly where we want to be, which, by the way, if you're listening to this or watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. Hit us up on Instagram at halloween.lives.podcast. Subscribe, like, follow. You know the deal. Do it all. We certainly appreciate your support. In this episode, we got a couple different things going on. The first thing we're going to do is we wanted to end the year by giving out some sort of best of awards. They're going to be virtual awards. We don't have trophies. We don't have anything like that. But we put up on our Instagram page some polls of what basically were your favorite things about our podcast. Best guest, best episode, things like that. Best interview. And we had, I don't know if you saw the numbers, but we had a lot of people vote. Like we had in 24 hours, we had like over 120 votes on most of our polls. So there were a lot of people that took part in that. And that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, it was really cool to see how much people were like engaging. I think this is a really cool time of the year to just tie everything up with a bow and take a look back. Obviously, We'll save some of our nostalgia for our 1 year anniversary post. But I remember a year ago right now, gearing up for this thing and being like, in 2023, we want to hit the ground running and really do this thing. And it's really cool to look back and see how many people had, shared their opinions on what was the best that we did this year. So I am excited to introduce the first Samhain Awards, or Samhain Awards, which is our little award show. We'll do the same thing next year at this time.
That's right. That's right.
Probably more.
You just brought up something that was kind of cool. Like a year ago, we were talking about, we were already committed to doing this. We were buying our equipment. We were doing whatever we needed, getting our whole thing set up, getting ready to go. But when you think about it, like when you really reflect back on what the last year has been for us, like, dude, we have talked to people, both celebrities and just other people who are fans of this series and the franchise, that I never would have ever imagined. Like, we have gotten to meet and talk and just communicate with so many people that literally make this podcast. Like, the people who listen to this podcast or watch this show are the people that truly make this thing. But you have like that group of people, and then we've gotten to talk to Brad Laree, Tyler Maine, Sandy Johnson, Michelle Dawson. Like, you go down the list of all the people that we've gotten to talk to. And that's not even including the fact that only a couple months ago, we went out to the H45 convention and got to see and talk to and do so many cool things and talk to so many cool people, shake Malik Akkad's freaking hand. Like, so much has happened in the last year. And I am so thankful that we did this. And I'm thankful that you and I did it together, because it would have never been the same if we were doing it with somebody else. And it's just, dude, it's been a wild ride so far in this first year, and we're not stopping. Like, we're still going with this thing. We have no intention of changing the show. We have no intention, and to be fair, to be honest, you and I at one point, we were kind of like, hey, we're going to expand this thing. We're going to change it a little bit, make a few tweaks. We're going to maybe change this from a weekly show to a monthly show, introduce some new ideas, maybe do like a horror themed episode one week, and then maybe like a paranormal episode the next week, and then throw Halloween Lives in there. And we kind of bounced that idea off of some of our listeners, some people who are really close to the show. And they're like, guys, you can't do that. Like, this is, people watch you guys for this. Like, that's awesome that you have these other ideas and that you want the show, or want the I guess the channel, if you will. You want the channel to grow, so you want to reach out to and expand sort of your your what you want to talk about, right? But at the end of the day, people are watching you because they love Halloween, and that's what's brought you guys to this point. And it was like, you know what? You're right. This is it. And there's so much to talk about. There's so much content out there. That's not to say that we might not do another show. We have talked about doing that and expanding that way, but we are going to continue with weekly Michael Myers talk into 2024, because that's exactly why you guys are here right now. And we can't thank you enough for being here.
Yeah, that is crazy to mention, because it was not that long ago. We were actually planning for our Halloween episode to be like, hey, going into the next, Halloween fiscal year, we want to do, these different shows. Halloween Lives will switch to a monthly thing, and then we'll do a bunch of other shows. That was totally part of the plan. And then, man, yeah, it's just, we started, and even on the last episode, there's a couple comments that are like, guys, keep this show weekly. Like, keep doing this week after week. And, we'd be stupid not to listen to the people that are the only reason we have any sort of platform at all right now. So thank you to everybody who's watching. Lots of fun stuff coming up in 2024. We still have lots of crazy fun ideas for this show. And, the more reputable we get, the more guests are willing to, maybe let's see what these Duncan brothers are all about. It's been a hell of a ride, and, we're still just getting started. If we look back a year from now at this episode, the way we look back at episode 1 and 2, I absolutely hope that's how we look back on this.
Exactly.
So
No, I agree, man. It's awesome. It is awesome. So on this episode, we're going to be doing obviously our Samhain awards, like Austin just talked about, but then we're also going to be kind of rolling this show out into 2024 and talking about what our predictions are for 2024. So our Halloween predictions, where we think the franchise may be headed, what changes or things that we may see in the next year, and we'll have to see if those predictions end up coming true when we do our predictions episode going into 2025. But I think we got to make these announcements, right? We got it. We've got some people who we know are definitely wanting to find out if they won or not. Should we do it?
Yeah, man. So we had 4 categories for the awards this year. There was the best interview of 2023, and let me pull up all of the the named contenders for all of these. Now, we went by views. If your favorite wasn't on the poll, we were looking for write-ins. And so to kick things off, for the best interview of 2023, the nominees are Sean Clark, Tyler Main, Brad Lurie, and Christopher Durand. Obviously, we've got different kinds of interviews there. We've got 3 Michael Myers, and then 1 guy who has risen above the fan level to his sort of own level of fame, and that is Sean Clark. Can't say enough good stuff. I wish I could have been there for the Sean Clark interview. That's still one of our top viewed videos ever. But it was awesome to see you guys chat. And so, Blaine, we had talked about getting a drum roll ready, but we didn't. So I'm going to need you to give me your best drum roll.
All right, ready?
Yep. And the winner of the best interview of 2023 is Tyler Main. Tyler Main from our Halloween bonus episode. Awesome thing that just kind of happened within like a week. It was a really fun episode, just getting to chat with him. I think my cheeks hurt from smiling the whole time, just being able to talk to him. We had obviously met him just a couple weeks earlier at H45. And, when it comes to best interview of 2023, I think you guys chose a good one there.
The fans have spoken. And Tyler Main, I mean, such a cool dude, first off, like not at all really what I'd expect. You expect some dude who's like big, tough, gruff. He's a wrestler. He's like, he was the most vicious Michael Myers that we ever got. And the dude is cool, man. I mean, he's just like, that's really the way that I felt with like James Jude Courtney when I met him. It was just a cool man, a cool dude. So yeah, very awesome to get Tyler on the show. He's obviously a fan favorite in many different ways. And thank you to all of the celebrity guests that we had on the show throughout the last year. It was a lot of fun getting people on and really hearing some of those backstories and the behind the scenes things that not a lot of people get to hear. And we enjoy bringing that content to you guys, because just as much as you guys like to hear it and watch it, we're doing the exact same thing. I mean, we're fangirling out like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And like you said, like your face hurts when the episode is over, because you're like, holy shit, I'm talking with Tyler Main. I just talked to Tyler Main for the last 45 minutes. But yeah, man, Tyler's a super cool dude, and hopefully we can get him on the show again. And like you said, we had just met him a few weeks earlier out at H45, and he started following us. I think were we out at H45 when he started following us? I think we were, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. It was the last day of H45. We had posted, because we did the photo shoot with him on day 2, and then I think like in the morning when we're in line for day 3, we saw Tyler Main had liked our comment and given us a follow, and it was just easy from there, setting up a time and working with them. And God, what a way to do your Halloween episode too, with one of the most vicious Michael Myers to hit the screen.
That's right. I forgot that was our special Halloween edition episode that we had. You're right. Yeah. So cool. Such an honor. And hopefully we can get him back on the show again sometime, because he's well worth spending that time and energy to try to make that happen, because he's an awesome guy. So very cool. What do we have next? What's our next what would it be like? Our next subject,
category?
Our next category. Thank you. Yes. What's our next category?
All right. So in a very similar vein where it was a little bit less interview and more of just being a guest on our show, working with us. Well, I mean, it is best guest of 2023. Your nominees are Marie of Not a Strong Start podcast, Connor, Creepy Customs Connor, who makes the most killer props out there for those who want some very screen accurate props. Dominic Benoit of Halloween Stocks, our boy, he's been on a couple times. And then Josh, the Shape NC, who was just recently on the show too. And
another interview you missed.
Another interview I missed. I've missed a lot of interviews, but you were gone for the last Dominic interview, I believe. I think it was just him and I talking about Halloween Stocks too.
Way to make yourself sound less sucky.
I know.
Throwing me under the bus.
Had to do it. I want to say first of all that this was a super tight race.
This was really tight. Yeah. Did you watch the polls? Because the polls were bouncing for a while. Like at one point or another, every single one of these people were in the lead. Like it was that close towards the end. And then at the end, obviously our winner pulled away. But yeah, dude, this was the tightest race of them all. So to all four of these people, thank you first off for coming on the show, and great work, because the fans of this show love you guys.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is like, I'm really glad the people who watch our show love these people as much as we do. But there is one winner, and the winner is Marie of Not a Strong Start podcast. Marie, who's been on the show a couple times, was most recently on when I was out of town for work.
Gone again.
I know. Anytime you get the Duncan Brothers together, it's a miracle, I guess. But that was our winner is Marie, and great winner. I think she is really like what the podcast is all about, just bringing on people that are so into this stuff. She's willing to nerd out with us on this. She's got some opinions on Halloween Ends that, I don't, whatever, but she's got a great opinion. We don't. But she's also got some great opinions on Halloween H2O, which half of us agree with. But
it's true. No, she is. She's awesome. She's been on the show now. She was our first co-host, guest co-host that we ever have, and that's how much we value her opinion and what she brings to the show. As we were like, hey, Austin clearly isn't going to pull his weight around here, so we got to have somebody step up to the plate. Marie, would you like to step in and fill in for him? And she hit a home run out of the park. And I can certainly see why the fans voted her in as that favorite or best guest of 2023. But seriously, for everyone who was on that list, and even the people who weren't on the list, like, thank you guys, number one, for taking the time out of your day, your night, whatever it was, and coming on the show, because we enjoy talking to you guys just as much as we enjoy talking to the celebs. So, like, there's no questions about it. And we've even talked about that, like, off the air, where I've almost been more nervous to interview some of the people that aren't celebrities as I am to interview some of the celebrities, because some of these people have like huge followings, and you don't want to screw that up. But yeah, congratulations to Marie on being the winner for the best guest of 2023. And thank you to everyone else who participated over the last year. And I'm sure we'll be seeing all of them again at some point down the road. Hopefully we can get them all back on, but yeah, thank you to all of them.
Yeah. To your point, I think I go back to like week 2 or 3 when we got Matt Halloween Daily News on the show, and being like, dude, I have to be on my shit. This guy knows his stuff. He is like who we look up to as far as, being a fan of this franchise. And shout out to Matt as well. What a fantastic guest. Our first guest on the show.
That's right. Our first guest and our second guest appearance, because he was also at our live 25 episode. So Matt, couldn't agree more. Got to see him again out at age 45. Great dude. Can't say enough good things about him.
Shook his hand outside of the hedge in Pasadena, California.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he was leading a tour group, and they were walking back from the hedge.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We were walking. We were like down the way. We were down the road a ways, right?
Yeah. And then got to shake the man's hand and see him there.
That's right.
In person. But moving on to our next category is the best special of 2023. Obviously, we aren't just coming out here week after week with episodes, which we are, but we're also, every once in a while we throw something else in, something we need to do probably more in 2024 than we did in 2023. But there were still a few specials that were up for contests here. We had the H45 convention little recap vlog video that we did, which I go back to all the time because that was just the coolest week of my life.
I just watched it last week. I had to watch it. I needed like that. I needed that in my life. So I went back and watched it again.
It's that whole time went by so fast that I'm so glad we documented so much. And there's so much that we didn't cover in that too. But it is really nice just to get those feelings again, waking up at 4 a.m. to go out to California and do that. The head bobbing in the plane. The other video or the next video was the Trick or Treat Studios 2018 rehaul I did. Glad it's still in the same year. I need to do another one before that year mark comes up. The next one was the Michael Myers unboxing, which was one of the first videos. Actually, that was the first video you and I recorded in the same room on this channel.
That's true.
And shout out to Connor Creepy Customs again with incredible work. We had the Nag mask in there, the Trick or Treat Studios knife, and then obviously the Vietnam soldier boots that Michael Myers wears. And then finally, we had Live 25. Now, we did have the Friday the 13th live special, but A, it didn't have as many views as Live 25, and B, man, there was just something special about that day. It was like the first time we had really collectively just gone like, all right, you've seen the show. Now let's talk to you guys.
Right.
And there was something just so special about that day.
Dude, first off, before we get to the winner of this episode, the best special, I guess. Number one, I want to point out the fact that Austin is responsible for creating all of those and everything that you see with this podcast. For the most part, we've talked about that, but like the H45 special, the Tots obviously rehaul, and then of course the unboxing video, like those are all edited, put together by Austin. He does all of that stuff. So kudos to you for doing that. And then the Live 25, that was just so much fun in general, because you and I, every summer, we make a trip somewhere throughout the Midwest, typically. And you and I go hang out. We stay at like the most haunted locations that we can find. We love paranormal shit. And you and I, so we'll travel around. So we were actually traveling. We were in Iowa for that. We did that Live 25 special from our hotel room in Iowa. And I think it was just the excitement of the trip. It was the excitement of it being this sort of anniversary special episode of 20, having 25 episodes in, which is a lot. And then obviously getting to actually be virtually face to face with so many of our beloved listeners and followers, that it was just like that night to me. Like I voted, obviously, and as I'm sure you did, like I voted in these categories for which ones I felt were the best. And for me, Live 25 was all the way my favorite of all these. But I think I was a little bit biased because to me that was just so freaking special. And yeah, like you said, we had the live. I think it was our 40th. Was that our 40th episode? The Friday the 13th episode.
Yes. That
was awesome. That was cool. Very cool. But Live 25, there's something special about that one. So, but let's go ahead and see, was I correct? And do others agree that the Live 25 episode was the best special of 2023?
So what I will,
Oh, sorry. Did I do the drum roll too early?
Nope. You're good. Give it. The best special of 2023 is the H45 convention. It was not Live 25, But age 45, man, like we just said, that's going to be a video I go back to for the rest of my life. Like sure. That is, I think, you know, I had so much fun during Live 25. But when it comes to just like, that was what the show was all about. Like it was like everything we had done up to this point was building up to age 45, and we finally got out there. And we saw so many people face to face. We walked around. We felt like little mini celebrities for a while. And it was really just cool to meet you guys and meet the people of these films. And you know, just get out somewhere different. And I don't know, man, age 45. I think a lot of people who couldn't come watched that. And I think a lot of people who were able to come to that got to live vicariously again through us. So
it's funny that you talk about like meeting the people at age 45. I think when we got back, I think we had at least 2 or 3 messages from people saying like, wow, you guys are really tall. You guys, I didn't expect you guys to be that tall. Because I'm like 6'4". You're what? Almost 6. You're 6'2". How tall are you? 6'2".
I was 6'2", 6'3" on Tinder back when I was
nice.
on there.
Okay, yep. So you really look like 5'7".
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. But everybody's like, you guys are tall. You guys are way tall. I'm like, yeah, I guess it's probably hard to tell when we're, you know, sitting down like this. But that was the age 45 video. That's special. To your point, is just it probably means, I mean, well, clearly not. I was going to say it probably means more to us than anybody else, and maybe that's true. But like, people obviously loved that. You know, being able to sort of live vicariously through us in many ways for those who weren't able to get out there. And, you know, if age 50 happens, hopefully there's people who weren't able to get to age 45 that get out to age 50. And we will definitely be there. As long as my heart is beating, I will be at age 45 in LA whenever that happens, or, you know, whenever that is. But yeah, so many cool specials we did. We have some ideas for other specials that we're going to be doing. And, you know, like for instance, like the, I'm trying to think, did we do, I don't want to get too far ahead, because we did do the draft for the next category that we're going to talk about, but like the draft is going to be a part of that. And just, you know, more episodes that aren't like truly like structured episodes where we're interviewing somebody or we have a specific topic like we want to expand on that, and do some of those kind of things. So yeah, dude, good job on the editing and creation of those episodes, because that was all on you 100%.
It was so much fun to go back and edit those clips, just to relive everything and to try to pick. I mean, we had a couple hours of footage and we narrowed it down to like, I don't know, 15 minutes less than that.
Yeah. We had a shit ton of footage that we didn't use.
It was just so special. Just trying to capture the highlights of that. We'll edit again. I think now we've kind of signed ourselves up, like, so long as we're breathing, like you said, for every 5 years, we're going to be back, celebrating that show. There were vets of that convention, at age 45 that were like, yeah, I've been there since age 30, been coming every 5 years since. I want to be like that, man. I want to be one of those guys where people are like, I don't even know Halloween lives, but I know that these two are here every single time. So definitely looking forward to age 50. Now for our final category, this is the best movie. This is the best album. If this were the Oscars or the Grammys, this is our best episode of 2023. And we had 4 episodes that we threw up there. Obviously, like I said, for all of these categories, there was room for write-ins. And so let's talk. Our 4 nominees, our 4 episodes that were up for this poll were the 2023 Halloween franchise draft, our Halloween remake fan cast, the top Michael Myers fan theories, and the hot takes of the Halloween franchise. Now, I threw in hot takes along with our 3 most viewed episodes that didn't fit into any of the previous categories. And I threw hot takes in there as well, just because it was one of the ones more recently that had created a little more discussion. What do I got to say about these? Personally, my favorite is going to be the 2023 draft. I had so much fun. I can't wait. Like we're coming up on, in 4 months, we will be doing the draft again for 2024. I can't wait, dude. I got to start putting my strategy together now.
Hell yeah. Well, and not only that, but we have, and I'm not sure that we're going to do this, but we've talked about like, hey, maybe we should pull some other people in, because we could end up just basically drafting essentially the same movie. But the more people, for anybody who plays fantasy football or fantasy baseball or basketball or anything like that, like the more people you introduce, the more you got to have a little bit of a different strategy, and like somebody could steal somebody that you wanted for your movie. So there is a high likelihood that we're going to have some additional guests on to kind of create their ultimate Halloween movie through this fantasy draft. But yeah, dude, that was a freaking blast. That was a lot of fun. Probably the most fun I've ever had in an episode, to be honest with you. The most fun recording an episode.
Yeah, it was so much fun to be doing that. And like you said, it just laughed more than I think I ever have on an episode doing that. And yeah, no, I think we definitely got to get some more people on, make it a little bit tougher on us to draft those our ideal movie.
That's right.
But the winner of the best episode of 2023 is...
I'm glad I don't have to do this drum roll anymore, because I feel like an asshole. I wish you'd have just downloaded the sound clip like I asked you to, but go ahead.
Episode 47, Halloween Hot Takes. Only 3 weeks ago, people are saying it's the best episode of Halloween Lives, the podcast of Michael Myers. So thank you guys, especially our newer viewers that were able to see that one come out live.
Yeah, dude, that one that was a lot of fun too. We did that episode together. I don't really remember why we did it together. Now that I don't remember if there was a rhyme or reason, but we obviously recorded that together at Austin's place. And yeah, that was fun, because for a couple of different reasons. It was fun because we were actually in the same room together and we could kind of just work off of each other a little bit. But obviously, like, we were delivering these hot takes, aka opinions that are going to piss people off or likely to piss people off. And it was a lot of fun. And it was fun to hear and see the reaction from some of the people, or some of those who commented, like on the YouTube channel. They commented. Nobody gave us any major hate, I don't think. Like, I know Marie and I had a little bit of banter there on the episode a couple weeks ago when she co-hosted about some things I said about H2O. But I don't know that there was like any, like, I don't think we really pissed too many people off. As a matter of fact, I think there were more people that were like, I agree with you. Like, Laurie Strode sucked. She ruined the David Gordon Green, whatever, right? Like that. I think we had a lot more of that than maybe I was anticipating or expecting.
I think one of the things I try to do now is not just be like the classic Halloween fan where it's like, nope, H1 and H2 are the best and there's nothing you can say wrong about them. They're, right. Like, you have to like these movies. If you're a Halloween fan, you have to like this, or you have to do this. I like throwing stuff out there that, is true to the way that you and I watch the movie. I mean, no, like, we care about these films as much as the other biggest fan in the world. Like, we grew up on this matters so much to us. But yeah, we don't have to be blind followers to, kind of the public consensus on a lot of these films. And it was fun to, I think we kind of opened up that conversation, and then people felt more comfortable saying things that maybe went against the grain a little bit when it came to these films that obviously we all love. We're all watching this show where all we do every week is talk about these 13 movies. I think the love for the franchise is unquestioned. But you can point out some hot takes, and it doesn't necessarily have to be shitting on them either. We talked about how certain movies are totally underrated. It's something I think there will be a hot takes 2 in 2024, potentially even a hot takes 3. I think there'll be more hot takes to come.
I agree. I totally agree. And that's that is where I think we get our inspiration from for a lot of episodes too, are like the reactions that people have to our videos. If we see it, there's no question we've had episodes that, I don't want to say they're duds, but we've had episodes that aren't as popular as other episodes. And it's like, okay, well, people weren't really a fan of that. We're going to cross that one off the list. We're not going to go back to it. But I think at a certain point, like, we have done 50 episodes about 13 movies. Like, the well at some point does start to dry up a little bit. So we might have to go back and find another way to get creative with an episode that we've already sort of done something like that, like the hot takes. Like, there's going to be, a hot takes part 2, because clearly people like that. So we're going to go back to that kind of episode, or the draft, or, I mean, those kind of episodes, re-ranking our favorite Halloween films, which we're going to do, annually, that first episode right after Halloween, after October is over. So, like I said, we're talking 13 films and we're at episode 50. Like, there's a shit ton of content to talk about, but at a certain point, you do kind of have to go back and readdress some of those older episodes as well, in different ways. But yeah, man, that's our Samhain Awards for 2024. So congratulations to Tyler Main, to Marie. What was the third one again? We had the
Age 45 convention.
Age 45 convention. Yeah, that's right. And then obviously to that final hot takes episode. It's fun to hear what people think. Fun to see people get a chance to vote. Like I said, we had like 120 votes, which isn't a ton, but I mean, to get 120 votes in 24 hours. And that's simply just from our Instagram page. It's pretty cool, and I think, we had a lot of the people too who were a part of it. They were also sharing it, like, hey, vote for me. And so we got some more subscribers from that as well, because I think people were like, hey, what's this all about? So thank you to those people as well who are new, and hopefully we find a way to entertain you. But crazy, man. Crazy. We're going to, go ahead.
I was going to say, like you said, 13 movies, 50 episodes, crazy. And the well does run dry. But for the rest of this episode, we kind of want to talk about where things are going to be going from here, because obviously we do have things that are coming down the pipeline. I think it would be a lot scarier to be 50 episodes in about 13 movies when we didn't know there was more coming. We know that there was a bidding war between A24 and Miramax for the rights to the Halloween franchise. This was going on in October. Malik Akkad was probably answering phone calls back and forth during H45, trying to strike a deal, which is nuts to think about. That dude was probably stressing a little bit, or maybe not stressing, maybe being pumped that he was about to make a ton of money. But either way, there is more Halloween. There is more Michael Myers coming in the very near future. And what does it look like for the franchise beyond? If this is the television project, what is the future? Blaine, how do you feel about the future of the 24 or the Halloween franchise moving forward?
I'm obviously very excited that we know Halloween is going to live, right? We know that there's going to be more. What that is, we don't entirely know. There's obviously rumors that a TV show that the TV show is going to be in the works, or is in the works. But there's also rumors that there are more movies that are going to be in the works. I think for me, like, if I was to make one prediction, my prediction is going to be that shortly after the first of the year, we're going to get some sort of major announcement. I think they're waiting to let 23 sort of pass, but I think we're going to get some major announcement. And if I was to look in the crystal ball and try to make a prediction, my prediction is that we're going to get a TV show, and that TV show is going to drop this fall, the fall of 2024. We're going to get like an 8, 10, 12 episode series that is going to be about the Halloween franchise. That would be my prediction. I think if we could get a movie like that, and that would be cool. But I still think, like, from a business perspective, we're still so close to the David Gordon Green trilogy that they need to let those waters sort of calm down a little bit. Like, it would be really weird to rush back into, production with a new movie and a new, this new film that would come out. That would obviously be very, very different from, the David Gordon Green trilogy that we just got. So I think they're going to let that simmer a little bit, and, just sort of calm down, let it stop boiling, let it go to a simmer. And they're going to, sort of rejuvenate or revitalize the franchise again by doing this TV show. And I don't think like they're gonna want to put that out around Halloween time. That would be my thought. Like it's not gonna be like, oh hey, we're gonna put out this show in February. That doesn't make any sense, right? So I think we're from a production standpoint, we're really we're right in the zone right now. That there's probably some pre-production stuff going on right now. They're probably casting for different roles right now. It's probably under obviously under a completely different name. They're just casting for this sort of generic series. And I think shortly after the first of the year, my prediction is that we are going to get an announcement that a TV show is coming and that it will drop by October 31st, 2024. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I think I'm somewhere there with you. I mean, they'd really have to be moving to make that October, but it is. I mean, it's 4 quarters away from right now. I mean, there is time to film something, get it edited. I'm so used to the film space that I don't know how quickly television shows get filmed then are on screen. That part is a little bit up in the air for me. Either this October or the next. I think it's absolutely coming in October. I think a TV show is absolutely the best way to let the movies settle for a bit. And it's almost, I don't want to say it's junior varsity, but it is almost the tier below the silver screen to try out some new ideas, maybe do something that fans might not love in a movie. I think we're going to have to go into it with open eyes, because I think anybody who's expecting a TV show that is exactly what we've seen for 12 out of the 13 movies is going to be disappointed. You can't stretch one of the Halloween movies out into a multi-series or a multi-season show. It's not going to work that way. I think it's going to be shocking. I really hope it doesn't suck, but I could see it sucking. I could see that being a realistic possibility. I know that the Exorcist show that came out a few years ago, sort of when they were figuring out what to do with that property. I know a lot of people really love that show. Hopefully Halloween can take notes. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the Crystal Lake show that's coming later in 2024. I think there is some open ears and open eyes seeing how that show goes about taking a classic 80s horror slasher icon and bringing it down into a stretched out formula. Hopefully they can take notes with what happens with Crystal Lake. I've got big hopes for Crystal Lake as well, but like I said, this is the first time anything like this has been done. There was the old Friday the 13th series, which was kind of like a Black Mirror, like a grown up Goosebumps sort of show like that. But this is gonna have to do something with Jason. These are gonna have to do something with Michael. It'll be interesting to see how they take characters we know and love and bring them into something where, also you have the opportunity to show these characters growing far more than you can in 2-hour movies. Some of the best character development I've seen in visual arts is in television, because you have way more time to watch a character progress and grow through all these different episodes. I'm looking forward to it. I would say 24, give me a TV show. Hopefully 25, give me a second season. And man, I think by 26, if the show wins or fails, if it wins big, we're going to do some sort of tie-in movie. And if it loses big, give me that reboot, man. I think in the next 3 years, we'll probably have another Halloween movie. By 2027, I think you and I will be sitting in a movie theater watching Michael Myers kill some teens.
Yeah, I think we, they don't want to lose the momentum that they gained with the trilogy that just happened, but they need to shift gears. And I think, personally, I think if they're going to do this, they're going to want to capture sort of that next generation of Halloween fans. Like, they have their hooks in people like us, right? They have their hooks in the horror community already. People are going to pay money to go see a new film. They're going to subscribe to Peacock or MGM Plus or Netflix or whatever the hell it is that the TV show will be on. Like, I don't think we're going to get this on like cable or like regular television, right?
I hope not.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be like a fucking CW,
Dude,
type deal. That would suck. And that's honestly
horrible.
like, that's one of the things that I'm afraid of is, I started watching, I didn't never finished it, but I started watching when they did the Scream TV series and I didn't like it. Like, it felt like just too, like they were trying to basically make like Dawson's Creek meets horror. Right. And I didn't like that. Which you could maybe argue that Scream kind of already has that vibe in some ways. Like, it was around, 1996 when that film came out, and it was around that era. But like, I don't want them to do that with Halloween. I still think the way, if they really wanted to like stretch the series out, if they're like, hey, we want to make at a minimum a 3-season show. Like, that's our goal, is a 3-season show. I think you got to start out with like telling the Loomis meets Michael age 6 sort of story, just post 1963 murders, and then work your way into the future. Like, even if it's just developing that story for the first year or two, then Michael escapes and somehow you have the events of 1978 and then it moves forward or whatever it might be. Or maybe those first 3 seasons, that's all that it is just like Loomis's, trying to figure out this kid and digging into the backstory of Michael. And maybe, they tie it more into like the book where he's researching the history of the family and some of the other things that had happened, as the book talks about, with this being like more of a curse on this family. I mean, whatever, right? I just think that's the way to do it. Like, if they were to introduce some new character, right? Sarah Johnson, she's our new Laurie Strode is this Sarah Johnson character. And I'm obviously just making that name up, but like, I don't think you can stretch that out and get 3 10 to 12 episode seasons out of something like that. I think that would just be very difficult. And that's where I would be afraid that it would be like that Dawson's Creek sort of series that I felt like the Scream TV show was. Like, I don't want anything to do with that. I want it streaming. I want it somewhere where there can be blood and guts and nudity and swearing. And like, I want it to capture everything that these Halloween films do on the big screen. I want them to be able to do that, for a TV series. But I think doing that on like an actual like TV, like a channel, like to watch it on Friday nights at 6:00 on channel, whatever, I just don't think that would work.
No, I wouldn't want that at all. Something interesting you brought up as well is Scream, the franchise of Scream, which I think has done the best job out of any horror franchise of like the slashers that we know and love, of capturing the youth. There are 13, 14, 15-year-olds that are now obsessed with Ghostface. And, they've done such a great job of capturing the youth by bringing in actors and actresses that the youth, looks up to or cares about. And now they just blew it. They just dropped like all the big names from the Scream franchise, moving into, I think, their 6th movie. 7th, Jesus. And so there is kind of a power vacuum now to capture the looks and the views from the youth. I'm cool if they want to cast a bunch of like, big TikTok people that are trying to make it into the acting world, make Halloween cool in 2024 to the youth, because it is kind of one of those things like, yeah, as much as I hate to see something I love turn to like, the young tween, whatever, that's how this thing keeps on going. That's how new fans come in. And I want, like, I was lucky enough to be into this stuff when I was super young, but I was like 11 years old, obsessed with this franchise. I want that for the next generation of kids to go and then look back, just like we had to do on a lot of these older movies that we weren't born for. And anything that inspires the youth to go back, take a look at this series and appreciate it for what it is, I'm here for it, and we'll be here for you on this channel. It really is all about capturing the attention of the youth and making it something that's relatable and relevant in 2024. So it's a tough ask.
You're wrong about the TikTok stars, by the way.
I felt weird saying that.
You're such a millennial. You're such a millennial,
no,
Austin.
You're a millennial, bro. I'm a Gen Z or something like that. Yeah. I don't even know.
But you're whatever that is. You TikToker.
I'm a TikToker, baby.
Yeah. Disagree. We can agree to disagree on the TikTok thing. But yes, I agree. They do need to capture that younger audience. I mean, I think that is key to continuing on to growing this franchise, because I think there are a lot of, kids out there, teens, whatever, who don't necessarily know who Michael Myers is. Like they might see the mask, but they're like, oh, there's Jason, or yep. Wait, Michael's the guy in the hockey mask, right? So if they could sort of do what they did, like honestly, here is the perfect example of what they need to do with the show. They need to replicate the Bates Motel TV series.
Yeah.
Do what they did there in telling that story, because I don't know how you feel. I don't know that we've ever actually talked about this, but I freaking loved the Bates Motel series. It got a little long, or got a little towards the end, it started to fizzle out a little bit for me, but I freaking loved it. Like there was just enough about the house and the motel and, Norma and Norman Bates. Like there was just enough to keep me entertained and keep me hooked into it as like, wow, this is Psycho. This is like the prequel to Psycho. But there was still like introducing all these side stories and like bringing in these different aspects that if I was like a producer on any TV series, I would try to do that. I would try to create a TV show that is like, okay, we are doing Halloween, but we have to tell a new story and we're going to pull in all these other different ideas. And that leads us basically up to like 1978, like that. And that's where, I mean, like if they did the Dr. Loomis thing, they could do that. It's almost like it would be the prequel to 78 and telling that story. And then once they get to the night that Michael escapes, it's like, boom, it's over. It's done with. They've captured that new audience. They've captured, new viewers, whatever it is. And hey, by the way, we're making an announcement. There'll be a new Halloween film next October. Like that's the kind of thing that they need to do.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Bates Motel is a great blueprint. For me, I go to a show like Smallville, something you and I both watched growing up, where it was. I
just added that song to my workout playlist. By the way, the Remy Zero. Yeah, I did.
That's a banger. I love that song. But that's sort of like an idea of like a show that's a prequel. We know where this is going. Like obviously, Clark Kent is going to don the red and blue tights. We know that's coming, but how do we make this character, like, how do we learn more about this character so when he's out there doing his Superman shit that you care about him even more? I think that's going to be kind of what has to happen. If you can sign these people to a 10-year deal where you're like, we're going to do 3 seasons of a show, and then or if there's time jumps, you're going to come in the 3rd season, but then you're going to be in 3 movies after that take place after the show, and people who care to watch the background of these characters can watch the TV show. But if you just want to jump right back into like a reboot of Halloween reboot, they're in 2027 2028. That's the ideal way for me to see these shows. Would be a lot of fun.
Be pretty sweet. It would be pretty sweet. What do you guys think? What is going to happen in 2024? Really, the slate is clean. The whiteboard has been erased. We are really at such an awesome place. Really, we haven't been here since when was 2018? The Halloween 2018 was announced, I think, in 2015, 16, whatever it was. We're going back damn near almost a decade and saying, everything is on the table or off the table. Everything is here. What you can do whatever you want with this thing. So it really is an exciting time to be a Halloween franchise lover. And who knows, 2024 could be a big year. We could have a ton to talk about. And that's really like my hope too, is that something does a show, a movie, whatever it is, happens in 2024, because it's going to give us a ton of content to talk about. A lot of breaking news, things like that. So that would be really cool in itself. But what do you guys think? What's going to happen in 2024? you can let us know in the comments below, and we can take a look at it. And if anybody's got any really cool, wild ideas, maybe we can read them on next week's episode as well. But give us your predictions for 2024. Let us know what you think. But yeah, man, that's gonna wrap this one up, dude. It's crazy. 2023 went by in a flash. We're going on to 2024. Happy New Year to everybody out there who's watching, listening. Yes, cheers to you. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, thank you for giving us this platform, this opportunity to come to you guys on a weekly basis and just listen to us bullshit and talk. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. That's so true. Like if we had 28 followers or subscribers, we wouldn't be doing this. It's the facts, and our numbers continue to grow, and that's because of you guys. So continue to spread the word. We have more guests on the way. We have a lot more content coming up in 2024, and damn, I am excited to be bringing that to you. And that's going to do it for this episode. This is episode number 50. Episode number 50 and the last one of 2023. So we'll see you not only next time, but next year for episode 51. We're getting close to that 1 year anniversary.
That's how you know Blaine's a millennial.
How's that?
You just said see you next year.
Well, it's true.
In the end of December.
Like fourth grade, you used to say that to all your friends. Hey, I'll see you next year. See you next year.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, I am a millennial.
Go ahead. Just go.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching episode 50. I'm Blaine Duncan. That's my brother, Austin. We'll see you next year.